Imagine a city of stone towers, bustling markets, and narrow, winding streets, suddenly under the shadow of a dark fleet sailing up its river. Paris, the crown jewel of the Frankish kingdom, is about to face an enemy that few could imagine, and even fewer could survive. These are no ordinary raiders. They are Vikings, warriors from the frozen north, sailing silently under the dawn mist, axes raised, shields glinting, eyes set on conquest. In a time before modern armies, before organized nations, these invaders could strike fear across kingdoms, leaving chaos and legend in their wake. Today, we uncover how Vikings held Paris hostage and how their shadow shaped the history of Europe forever. To understand the siege of Paris, we must first understand the Vikings themselves. In the 9th century, the lands we now call Norway, Denmark, and Sweden were home to fierce warrior societies. Long ships carved from sturdy timber allowed these warriors to sail across oceans, rivers, and streams, reaching lands thought unreachable. Their reputation was terrifying: swift raids, brutal attacks, and an unrelenting hunger for gold, silver, and land. Meanwhile, France was fractured. The Carolingian dynasty ruled over a sprawling kingdom, but power was fragmented. Local counts and nobles were left to defend their territories with limited forces. Paris, while rich and strategically vital, had vulnerabilities. Its walls were strong, but manpower was limited, and for the Vikings, that weakness was opportunity. These were not simple marauders. They were strategists, raiders, and conquerors, combining knowledge of shipbuilding, navigation, and military tactics to strike where no one expected. Their sights were set on rivers, the arteries of Europe, and the Seine led straight to Paris. The journey of the Vikings to Paris was perilous, yet meticulously planned. Months of preparation went into building the longships, gathering warriors, and plotting a course up rivers and across seas. News of their approach spread terror across villages lining the Seine. Farmers abandoned their fields. Small towns were raided and burned, leaving scorched earth in their wake. The Vikings moved like shadows, silently approaching the city. They were led by experienced chieftains, men whose names would be whispered in fear for centuries to come. Each ship carried dozens of warriors, their axes sharp, their shields reinforced, their intentions clear. They did not merely seek loot, they sought to impose dominance and extract tribute. Paris was wealthy, and wealth invited their wrath. As they neared the city, tension gripped the hearts of its leaders. Paris's counts and guards fortified the gates, gathered men-at-arms, and prepared for a siege unlike anything they had ever faced. Yet even as preparations were made, there was uncertainty. How could a city, however walled and wealthy, withstand the fury of Viking warlords who had conquered lands from the Baltic to the North Sea? When the Viking longships reached the gates of Paris, their assault was relentless. Battering rams smashed against wooden gates. Archers loosed volleys of arrows that darkened the sky. Siege towers were pushed forward, and warriors climbed ladders to breach the walls. Inside the city, defenders fought with courage born of desperation. Stones and boiling oil rained down upon the attackers. The streets became a battlefield, smoke and fire filling the air, cries of fear and defiance echoing through the alleys. Yet, for all their courage, the Parisians were facing a foe unlike any before. For weeks the siege dragged on. Day by day the Vikings pressed harder. They attacked, withdrew, then returned, probing weaknesses, testing defenses. Civilians hid wherever they could, some offering secret assistance to the soldiers, others falling victim to the chaos. The city's food stores dwindled, morale wavered, and hope hung by a thread. But the Vikings were not mindless killers. Their raids were calculated. They wanted to instill fear, to show dominance, to force the city into submission. And in that relentless pressure, the turning point came, not with a final battle, but with a negotiation. After weeks of siege, Paris's leaders realized that the city could not withstand another month of relentless attack. The Vikings, knowing they had the upper hand, were willing to negotiate. Under a white flag, envoys met with the chieftains. Gold, silver, and gifts were offered. Land was promised. The Vikings accepted the tribute. They retreated from Paris, their longships returning to the rivers and coasts they called home. But their legacy was far from gone. From this moment, a new region took shape, Normandy. Viking settlers established roots, blending Norse and Frankish cultures, shaping the future of Europe in ways few could foresee. Paris had survived, yet the siege left scars. Walls were repaired, defenses strengthened, and the memory of the invaders lingered in the city's collective consciousness. For the Vikings, the raid was both a demonstration of power and a foothold for their influence in European politics. What began as a raid had reshaped the map. The Vikings may have sailed away from Paris, but their story did not vanish. It remained etched in the walls, the streets, and the chronicles of the time. They were conquerors, raiders, settlers, and visionaries. A people whose fearsome reputation was matched only by their impact on history. Paris endured, but Europe was forever changed. Normandy, the legacy of the Viking presence, would play pivotal roles in the centuries to come, including the Norman conquest of England. And the tale of Paris under siege remains a testament to the fragility and resilience of civilization, the clash of cultures, and the hidden stories of history that were almost lost to time. These are the histories they tried to hide until now. If you want to uncover more forgotten empires, secret battles, and the stories that shaped the world, stay with us and explore history they hid.
Subscribe and join us as AI brings lost history back to life.